All right, folks. Now, often we talk about black swans and we worry about the potential of a black swan event hitting our markets and disrupting our everyday lives. And there definitely are dozens of scenarios that could be playing out. We've already seen some crazy events over the past few years. So I think we're not ready to put anything past us at this point. But in this session, we're going to be talking about the white swan event, the biggest white swan event that is coming into the digital asset space, and what this means for your investments as an investor in cryptocurrency DLT technology. So without further ado, I want to get right on into this. I just recorded an interview with Brad Kimes from Digital Perspectives. That's going to be airing on his YouTube channel. So if you want some more content from me today, make sure you guys head on over to his channel, Digital Perspectives, and go watch the interview that I did this morning with Brad Kimes. Now, we also dropped a couple videos this morning. If you guys missed them, it might be because you haven't subscribed and you haven't hit that notification bell. Let's make sure we get it done. Appreciate you guys. Let's take a look at our markets. Bitcoin at 71,000, up just a little bit this morning for the broader cryptocurrency space as well. 38.22 for Ethereum. And XRP still hanging out here at 52.5 cents. Now, we take a look. GameStop has already been halted. I'm going to show you guys where we're at on that one. So in the overnight trading, GameStop actually went up to about 65 bucks in the overnight markets, but upon opening, opened up here below 50, and then it dropped and basically wiped out most of the gains that we had in the overnight hour trading. And now we're actually below the levels that we traded at yesterday, back down to $35. I don't know when Roaring Kitty is going to be streaming. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments down below, because I am interested in watching that. AMC at $5. But we'll see, maybe Roaring Kitty will come back on and the live stream will send it up and we'll start pumping again. We'll be watching it closely. Now, getting right on into it, like I said, GameStop has already been halted 6 times in the first hour of trading today. So happy Friday. We'll see how many times this market gets halted. This has just been on GameStop. AMC is not really going crazy right now, so I wouldn't expect that one to be halted. But definitely going to be watching. And as I've been saying, I got my popcorn. I'm enjoying this show. What this whole GameStop situation is doing is exposing our rigged casino stock market for what it truly is, and it just builds on our fundamental thesis that we're moving to DLT, we're moving to real-time settlement, we're moving to full transparency of markets and who owns what. And that's exactly why you're seeing groups like BlackRock and Citadel get ready to launch their new stock exchange in Texas. Now, speaking of launching new systems, we just got it this morning, folks. Russian President Putin confirms BRICS is developing its own independent payment system. Quote, BRICS is working on our own independent payment system free from political pressure, abuse, and external interference. Now, this has been speculated, and this really, I don't know, many of us already understand that this is kind of underway, but just another confirmation coming from Putin this morning. And there's rumors circulating that the petrodollar deal signed with Saudi Arabia 50 years ago is set to expire in the next couple days. I can't find any information to validate that that specific deal is ending, but what I can observe is these countries around the world, including Saudi Arabia, which are doing deals outside the US dollar. So we have our own allies, which are doing trade outside the US dollar, and they're also dropping our treasuries as a reserve. And we're seeing our enemies, of course, have been forced to go away from the US dollar to dump our treasuries. And now they're accelerating that process of coming up with a new payment system outside of the US dollar SWIFT Western-backed system. As far as the share of global reserves, well, the data confirms what I've been saying here. Folks want to say, oh, we still have the dominant reserve currency by far. And we do have the largest share of global reserves, but it has been lost in the past decade. In 2014, the US dollar share of global reserves was at 59%. The gold share of global reserves was only 10%. Fast forward to 2023, the US dollar share of global reserves has dropped to 49%, and the gold share of global reserves has grown to 19%. US dollar continues to lose share of global reserves to gold. Major mean reversion trades still in early innings. And so I don't need to see the deal officially come to an end. And as an investor, and trying to be a savvy investor, right? You don't wait for the headline to come out and then make your investment. You make your investment based off of connecting the data points that you can get, right? And decoding the data, it's a whole nother job in and of itself. And that's a difficult task. But that's what we do, right? And that's what puts us in position early before the headline comes out and says that, these countries have officially dropped the dollar. We're observing them do trade deals right now in real time outside the US dollar. Do I need the official announcement from them? No. I can see the trend, and the trend is not your friend if you're a holder of US dollars. Speaking of data that doesn't add up, Kobesi letter summarizing the jobs report that we got this morning. All of the headlines say that the U.S. economy added 272,000 jobs in May. However, when you dig deeper into the data, you can see that full-time employment actually fell by 625,000. Meanwhile, part-time employment rose by 286,000, along with the unemployment rate to 4%. So officially hitting 4% for the unemployment rate, and as you can see, we're losing 600,000 full-time, good, high-paying jobs, but we added 286,000 part-time jobs. So the headline number that's going to be read off is that the U.S. economy added 272,000 jobs. But it's just a lie. It's just a manipulation of the data. And this is the first month with 4% unemployment rate since February of 2022. And if you recall, the first half of 2022 was a technical recession. Zero Hedge adds to the perspective here. They really are losing the plot on how to manipulate the numbers. Not only a crash in full-time workers, but the household survey was down 408,000 versus 272,000 establishment survey. The gap between the two surveys has never been bigger. So depending on which data you pull from, you get two completely different stories. And I think that you guys can guess on which numbers the talking head pundits on CNBC and the White House are going to be touting next time they take the podium and tell us how to feel warm and fuzzy inside while we watch our currency lose its reserve currency status and its share of global reserve, and while we watch our economy truly entering a period of contraction that is being papered over by manipulated data. Now, what's happening is that we're starting to see the real value head into price discovery. We're starting to see the real value present itself, and we have a lot of people, even in the United States of America, that are calling their bluff, and when I'm talking about the U.S., calling the bluff on our economy and calling our bluff on our reserve currency status, and that's the conversation around silver. UBS now projects a 2024 year-end price target of $36 per ounce for silver, up 20% compared to its previous forecast. UBS also expects the gold to silver ratio to fall. Now, if they're expecting an end of the year target of about $36 per ounce, then that means that they're probably expecting the price maybe has the potential to go higher in between now and then, right? So you'll see the average price back when gold went to an all-time high and silver went to an all-time high. Silver went to $50 per ounce in 2011, but the average price that year was about $35 per ounce. Right now we're watching, and their target there is for a $36 end of year target. And our average right now, we're only, approaching halfway through the year. Our average this year very well could be above $30 per ounce. And the end year target of 36, very conservative. But what does it mean for the potential to see $40 silver this year in the meantime? I think it's definitely there. We were talking about $30 silver just a month or two ago. And sure enough, shortly after that, we've blown through it. And then you guys can recall, just last week, I was warning. I said, guys, hey, I'm not here to give you financial advice or tell you what to buy, but I just don't think that this opportunity below $30 silver is going to last for long. And sure enough, the next day, it was back above $30 per ounce for silver. Now, continuing on with our update here, I wanted to give you one data point here on cryptocurrency. And I'm talking about the biggest white swan event that could happen to our industry is just regulatory clarity. This is from Fidelity. And then we also got this perspective from Citigroup. Citibank and other large banks won't operate in the U.S. until there is a clear regulation in place. But until that is 100% clear, we just won't operate. This is Citigroup. Listen in.
Regulatory standpoint, it's not permissible for us to hold crypto, right? So until that changes, we continue to keep an eye on the market and experiment and work. We have innovation lab that does great work working with a lot of fintechs out there. But until that regulation changes, and it has to be clear, that gray area, large financial institutions are not going to operate in. And I think, here this week, it's been really positive hearing from a lot of the senators and legislators out there talking about the changes that are coming. But until that is 100% clear, we just won't operate in that area.
And this is the frustrating part for us, right? Is we're seeing countries around the world are moving in that direction. As I started out this show, we have BRICS and Putin recognizing that they are, in fact, working on a new system, and they're well on their way to doing that. Meanwhile, here in the United States, we can't operate. We got little sandboxes. We're playing around and doing little trial tests while they're working on moving full speed. Now, they have a long ways to catch up and to take the lead. Our institutions and our incumbents already have that role. But it would just be, nice. Obviously, all of us want us to see this adoption, and the regulation should already be in place now. And we should already be letting entrepreneurs and capitalists and the traditional incumbents thrive in this digital asset economy that's being built out. Now, from Fidelity, talking about the biggest white swan event that could happen to our industry. Listen in here.
That. And so if we were to get a market structure bill in the US, which I think is one of probably the biggest white swans that could happen to our industry, is just regulatory clarity on whether certain tokens or securities or commodities, how they should operate, what it takes to be an ATS venue. I think that's a big unlock. And if you can get some of the larger market participants, the Fidelities and the BlackRocks and some of the larger custodians behind a market structure bill, then I think you really start to see this real world asset narrative get some legs in a way that it hasn't.
And that's why we've been saying survive till 2025. Are they going to pass legislation this year? We're not going to be holding our breath, but we are praying, right? And like you said, this is going to be the biggest white swan event for our space yet. The point being, though, you got to be able to survive the black swans between now and then, right? And so we're going to be going through it. It's bumpy. The jobs numbers are reflecting that our real economy on Main Street is in contraction. So we need to make sure that we got it figured out. How's your program working out? We, increasing responsibility, getting a raise at our job, doing whatever it takes to make sure that our job, our company is still going to be around through all of this. What are we doing to start our side hustle, scale up our business? We need it coming in. We need to be able to survive this, because what is coming is the biggest white swan event that this space has seen. When you add to that, the Fidelities and all these groups are very interested in launching all sorts of ETF products around this space as well. So not only do we have the regulations that are going to bring them actually adopting and using this technology, but further ETF approvals. And this is why Brad Garlinghouse is saying that we get an XRP ETF with a Cardano and Solana ETF on the way as well later this year, or probably next year, right? Brad said 2025. So we got to be able to ride it. It's going to be a bumpy ride from here on then. A lot of distractions, a lot of negativity. He or she who gets focused first and stays focused longest will win most. And that's where we are putting all of our undivided attention right now, is on our program, our business, our family, our investments, political theater taking place, world stage theater taking place. There's plenty of stuff to distract you, plenty of stuff to bring you back down. We want to keep our energy levels up, and we want to understand that these institutions are sitting back calmly saying, yeah, we have a plan down the road. Meanwhile, behind in the boardrooms, I guarantee you, it is, DEFCON 3. We need to figure out how to get this technology to work, to benefit us, so that we can maintain our share as incumbents in this space. If we want to be able to survive and thrive, we need to figure out a DLT cryptocurrency program. And so, front facing, they're saying calmly, yeah, we're not in it yet. We're going to be coming in, though. We're excited. We're playing around. In the back boardroom, it's a matter of survival of the fittest for these institutions. And so it's the same thing for us as well when it comes to running our small business, to making sure that we're going to make it. Figure out that program for yourself. Make sure that we got our investment thesis solid. And then right now we need to be figuring out our reallocation or exit strategy for some of these positions, because this bull run is coming. We have 3 things coming that I think really drive us, which is going to be the broader regulations, more ETFs, and then no matter who gets elected, I think we have a new wave of money printing and stimulus and saving the system, or resetting the system as we know it. And that's going to lead to more inflation, asset prices going up. Let's take advantage of this opportunity. Make sure you guys get tapped in with us by subscribing, hitting that notification bell. And if you appreciate our updates, make sure you tell a friend, tell a family member, or a loved one that we got it going down over here. We've already dropped. This is going to be our 3rd update today. We did the interview with Brad Kimes. More content coming this weekend. And if you want to join us in our Discord weekly calls, every single Saturday, I sit down with my Discord group. Gives me an opportunity to sit down intimately, have a conversation, ask questions, And I really do enjoy those sessions. Every single Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, you head on over to zachrector.com and you sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. And we would love to have you in the family. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Happy weekend. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.